Hello, everybody. I'm Zach, your friend and realtor in the Bay Area real estate market. I've got another market update for you today. On the screen, we have the inventory table updated as of today, Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Yesterday was Memorial Day. I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. Typically, I do update the table on Mondays, which would have been yesterday, May 26th. But nevertheless, we've got the updated numbers today, Tuesday. Now, if you look at the table, I also have the numbers from usually, like I said, it's 1 week prior. In this case, it's going to be 8 days before today. So that would have been Monday, May 19th, 2025. Today, we're going to be looking at the trends that occurred over the past week across the various counties that make up the Bay Area. And if you're new here, let's go ahead and just kind of explain what exactly you're looking at right now. So this is a inventory table, inventory being properties across the various counties that make up the Bay Area. Let's take a look at the left-hand side of the screen here. So obviously we've got today's date here, May 27th. We have all the counties that make up the Bay Area underneath that. Now, if we come to the right one column, well, actually these two columns, we have SFH active and SFH pending. SFH stands for single family homes. Active is going to be the homes that are currently for sale right now. So if you were to pull up Redfin, Zillow, whatever website that you prefer to use, and you looked for single family homes in Santa Clara County, you would get 1,270 results. Okay, that's what active is. Pending, these homes are not yet sold, but these homes, the sellers of these homes have accepted an offer from a prospective buyer and they're in contract right now. 9 out of 10 times within 30 days, these pending homes currently will be sold. Excuse me. Now, if we come to the right one column, we have the active to pending ratio column. This is my favorite column. If you are a returning viewer, you know that this is the column that I focus on primarily during these videos. So what is an active to pending ratio? Basically, we just take the homes that are currently actively for sale right now, divided by the homes that are pending sale right now, and that's going to give us the active to pending ratio. Now, the lower the number that you have in this ratio column, or the closer to zero it is, that's a hot market, which is favorable to sellers. Now, on the flip side, the higher the number in the ratio column, that's a cool market, and that's more favorable to buyers. You'll also notice that I have the numbers in this ratio column color coded. This color coding, you would think that red means hot, blue means cold, and it does in a way, but basically what that signifies is the the trend that we see on this table in front of us. So for example, if you go to a week prior, we have Santa Clara County single family homes with a ratio of 2. So over the past week, the ratio dipped down to 1.9, thus that ratio heat up, which is why it's red. Another example, Santa Cruz County single family homes last week was 8.4. This week that number rose, the market cooled to 9.3, so the number is blue. Now if we come down here all the way to the bottom, Contra Costa County single family homes, the number is green. It's because the number stayed the same from the week prior. So don't necessarily take the color in the ratio column as an indicator if that is a hot or cold market, but rather you want to look at the number itself. Like I said, the lower the number, the closer to zero, that's a hot market, a seller's market. The higher the number, I would say like obviously around 10. Sometimes we've seen numbers exceed 10, but the closer the number is to 10 or higher, that's definitely going to be a cool or a cold or a buyer's market. Okay. So Again, just moving to the right, we'll wrap this recap that I'm doing right now. We'll wrap this up soon and dive into today's data. But moving to the right, we have C/TH. That stands for condos and townhouses. Again, same thing, active and pending. And then over here, we have a ratio column specifically for condos and townhouses, active to pending ratio, depending on which county you are looking at. So that kind of explains the table. What did we see over the past week? Well, if you look down here, you'll see a lot, mostly red numbers. So what that normally would imply is that over the past week, the market heat up. Now, what I think actually happened was, as I mentioned earlier, yesterday was Memorial Day. We had the Memorial Day holiday weekend. And just like I mentioned a week ago or 2 weeks ago around Mother's Day, these home sellers, if they were not in a super big rush and if they're trying to be strategic with their listing, and their listing agent should have advised them of this, most sellers would have held off listing their home last week because of the holiday weekend, right? So, with that being said, if you look in the active column here, it makes sense that we see these decreases in active inventory over the past week. -15, -27, -15, -66, -13. Santa Cruz County was the only county where the inventory actually went up over the past week. Let's check condos and townhouses. Yep, all these went down, which makes sense because think about it. If you're a home seller, what do you want most of the time? You want the most amount of money for your property, right? You want the highest offer. Well, the highest offer is going to come from getting multiple offers. And multiple offers is going to stem from getting a lot of interest or foot traffic through your property, whether it's through open houses or whether it's buyer's agents bringing their clients to your property to show your property and sell your property. And what happens, obviously, over a holiday weekend is, people have plans. A lot of people maybe even took Thursday or Friday off work. They have Saturday, Sunday off, Monday off. They've got at least 3 days, maybe 4 or 5 days, maybe even more. Some people go on trips, they go out of town. Some people have family coming in town visiting. What I'm getting at here, you get the idea, but what I'm getting at is less people are out visiting open houses, less people that are even, home searching right now, prospective buyers, they might have taken the weekend off to go on a trip or host family or friends that came in town for the holiday weekend. So, without being too long-winded about this topic, what I'm trying to say is I think the reason that we saw a lot of the markets heat up over the past week is actually just the amount of active inventory taking a dip over the past week. Okay. So what I do think we'll see over the next week going into the future is we'll see everybody who was normally going to list their home that week, they're going to bring their home on the market this current week that we're in right now. So when we look at the inventory table in a week, we're going to be looking in the active columns for single family home and condos and townhouses. And what I think we can expect to see is we're going to see maybe all these different counties will be in the positive. Maybe not all of them, but I think it's likely. I think all of them could be in the positive. Same thing for condos and townhouses. And what that's going to do, because, okay, let me just say this first. Single family home pending and condos and townhouse pending, these are homes that were on the market. They were for sale last week and they accepted an offer before the holiday weekend. So it makes sense that we saw a lot of these numbers go up as they should, business as usual. But what I think we're going to see next week is we're going to see a slightly larger than normal amount of inventory come on the market while the amount of pending units on the market, stays the same as it usually would week after week. So with that being said, I think next week we're going to see a lot more blue in these ratio columns. But anyways, here's the inventory numbers from today, May 27th. We're reaching the end of May. I think actually what I'm going to do for the video next week is I did the same thing last month, but instead of next week having shown a table that shows the trends that occurred over just 1 week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the trends that occurred over the entire month of May. So for example, in the date field up here, you might see some date maybe around the very end of April, like the very last day, April 30th. And then in this date field right here, I'll pull the inventory numbers on May 31st, the very last day of May. So then we can actually see, we'll kind of zoom out a little bit. We'll look at the inventory high level for the entire month of May, and we'll have a better idea. Did the market cool off over in the month of May? Did the market heat up? Maybe it did both, but certain markets heat up and other markets cooled off. We'll find out because it's kind of hard to tell, what's going on in the market when you're looking at it this close, right? Just at a weekly interval. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see that video first when it comes out. Like I said, it will probably be, I don't know if it will be at the end of this week because I think May 31st is, let me see here. Pardon me for looking at my phone here. May 31st is a Saturday. I will pull the numbers on that day, but the video probably won't come out until early next week, maybe next Monday. But like I said, that's a video. If you're a prospective buyer right now, or if you're a property owner that's considering selling, that's a video you're going to want to see. We're going to take a look and see which way the market went during the month of May because we know, unless you're a new viewer, but if you watch my videos on a weekly basis, the month of April 2025 cooled off for various different reasons, which I talked about in past videos. I won't get into it on this video, but we'll find out. Did the market continue to cool all the way, not just through April, but through May? Or did the market cool through April, bottom out, and is it starting to heat up again? You'll have to come back and find out in 1 week when I post that video. So do me a favor, guys, subscribe to the channel. You'll be the first to know when that video comes out. Hit the like button if you found this video insightful or useful. Share it with somebody that you know is looking to buy or sell real estate in the Bay Area. Another thing I want to comment on before I go that is pretty peculiar, and I never really stopped to analyze it in great detail, but maybe you as a viewer may have some speculations about this. Take a look at San Francisco County, the ratio for single family homes, and look at the ratio for condos and townhouses. Look how drastically different that is. San Francisco County single family homes is a seller's market. San Francisco County condos and townhouses is a buyer's market. Why do you think that is? If you have an explanation for that, leave it in the comments. But if you look at all the other counties, yeah, single family homes most of the time are more competitive, but the spread between the two is not that drastic. We've got 1.9, 3.2 here. Contra Costa County 2.5, 2.8. So you see what I mean? The spread is not that drastic as it is in San Francisco County. So if you think you have an explanation for what's going on there, I'd love to hear it. Just leave it in the comments down below. Guys, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to talk about a certain area, because, for example, Santa Clara County it's a huge area. There's about 2 million people that live in Santa Clara County. maybe you're thinking about buying in Sunnyvale or Cupertino, and you want to know what the micro market, that environment looks like, feel free to reach out. Go to the About section in my YouTube. You'll find my email, my phone number, my Instagram handle, and I can share the information with you what the active depending ratio looks like in a micro market um, like Sunnyvale or Cupertino or any other area. One last thing before I let you guys go today. Around the middle of June, that weekend, I am going to be hosting a community outreach event. It is going to be a boba milk tea event. I did this is actually the second annual boba milk tea event that I've hosted. I did this last summer as well. Basically, I'm going to be setting up a table. I'm going to have tons and tons of free boba milk tea made fresh, and I'm going to be giving that out. I'm pretty sure the location is going to be the same place that I had it last year, but I'm not going to announce the location yet. So just stay tuned. I'll make sure you tune into my videos on a weekly basis. I'll talk about it more in the upcoming videos. But if you're watching this video, you are invited to that event. I would love to meet you guys in person, chat about the real estate market, and enjoy some nice cold boba milk tea on a hot summer day. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I know I had a lot more announcements than I usually do in these videos. But anyways, that's going to wrap up the video for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a great week, and we'll see you with the next one. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.